All right. People are coming in the room. Come on in.
No,
Get yourself settled. Hi, Cynthia.
until sorry, better make sure I'm on mute.
Where is everybody?
I'm here.
Yeah, the most important people are here. That's right. I like it. Um, I had like 70 people RSVP for today, so that is why I am questioning where everybody is. Um, This is Referral Mastery. This is our first agent mastermind of 2026. We have one scheduled for every single month. We've got some incredible topics lined up for you guys. But this one specifically is on Referral Mastery. I wrote this class because most of the agents that I coach or interact with, they love working by referral. A lot of my agents say that they're exclusively by referral only, but I start digging a little bit further and start asking some more questions, and I learned that they don't actually have a system for tracking their referrals. They don't have a system of how they work their referrals. They just like to receive referrals, but they don't really have a plan. And so I wrote this course to better equip us to be better stewards of the referrals that we receive, to be better educators of the people in our life about who we serve and what makes us unique so that we can earn more referrals. And then I've provided you kind of with a system to help you manage referrals that is going to help you stay on top of things. So thank you guys for being here today. I'm super grateful that you showed up. And I'm super glad that you're here. Um, People are texting me 5 minutes late asking me for the link, so hang tight. Um, let's see. All right. I did drop the workbook for today in the chat. I'm going to do it again just so that I don't know if I dropped the right one in there. So give me a second here. Someone click on the one I just, nope, I just gave you my speaker notes. Isn't that nice? Thanks, y'all. Listen, you get what you pay for around here, right?
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers, Laura. We're
That's
good.
right.
We're with
I
you.
love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
We'll take every crumb you throw us and be
Don't
happy.
worry. I'll throw you plenty. I want to say this one is the right one. Yep, that's it. Okay. Does everybody have access to the workbook that is in the chat? Let me make sure I'll throw it up there one more time. This should be it. So yes, no, heads up and down, you have access to the workbook. No.
I don't see it. It's not showing up in the chat. Maybe I'm
She's loading. Give her 1 second.
okay.
She's a kind of big workbook. You know how I am. Anybody's been to any of my classes, they know I love big workbooks. But you can't say I missed anything. It's very comprehensive, right?
Perfect.
So it's coming. She's almost done uploading. All right. I am going to share my screen so that I can follow along in the workbook with you. And here is where we are. Screen sharing is paused. That's not what I want. I'm having anybody still suffering from the outage yesterday from Verizon? Are we all good? Everybody's recovered okay? All right. Here we go. So, I don't know why it's not sharing my screen. Get here, get here. Let's get here. Why does it keep saying my ta-da? Can everybody see that? We're good. Yay. Thank you, Cynthia, for the clap. I needed that. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. First of all, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Laura Dahl. I am a 25-year veteran in real estate. I have owned 2 firms in my 25-year career, and I run a team in Tennessee and in North Carolina. And I coach agents all over the country. And I'm in what I call the legacy phase of my career. My goal is to leave a mark on our industry, one agent at a time, improving the level of service that we provide. And just to pour into as many agents as I can to leave an impact on you and your business. So I hope that is what I accomplish every time you show up for something that I do. But that is where I am and what I'm geared to. What I want you to know is that this is your season of clarity, consistency, and intentional growth through referrals, right? So let me know right now in the chat if you would, or you can raise your hand, but I can't see everybody on the call if you raise your hand. But let me know in the chat, do you normally get referrals in your business right now? And about how many a year would you say you get? Let me know that in the chat so I know who I'm talking to. Mortgage, 10 a month, great. 10 or so. That's fantastic. 10 a month is fantastic. But Cynthia, your business relies on people referring to you, right? Like that's primarily how you guys operate. But I love that you're here. Thank you for showing up. I love coaching lenders as well. I do coach LOs and other small business owners. So I love that. Heather said about 3 a month, and Miriam said, yes, all my business is from referrals. But as you said, inconsistent. Great. Love this. All right, let's talk about what today is going to look like. By the end of today's session, you will have a clear, confident way to explain who you serve and what makes you referable, right? This is the other part that agents are not so great about. They think that because I serve Western North Carolina, I should be the person you think of anytime you have a person who wants to buy or sell a house in Western North Carolina. I'm not suited for everybody. Not everybody loves me, right? I know that's hard to believe, but I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? And I am uniquely positioned to serve certain people better than others. There's people that I'm more in alignment with. And so we're going to get crystal clear about who you serve and what makes you referable. We're going to talk about a simple method to teach other people how to refer you. That's the other part that agents are not good at. They just say, hey, give me your referrals, or I'd love a referral. But we don't teach people, how do you want to receive the referral? Do you want them to text you, call you, group text, a joint email? Do you want a Facebook? Do you want them to send a private message? I want you to figure that out and teach people how the best way to refer people to you is, okay? We're going to have a professional system to track, manage, and appreciate the referrals that we get. I teach a system that is about publicly acknowledging referrals so that you're teaching other people to refer you, and privately thanking. Okay? We're going to talk about that. And then you're also going to have a follow-up process that keeps referrers engaged, in the know about what's going on, and likely to refer you again. Does that sound like a plan? Perfect. Rules for today. Clarity beats creativity, first of all. Simple beats perfect. Done beats, I'll come back to this later. We're going to do the work today. This is a workshop session. This is an interactive class. This is an agent mastermind. I am not the only mastermind in this room. You guys have lots of things to share. You have experiences. You have things that have worked for you in the past. We want you to share and interact with each other. We are going to have a breakout session where you're going to get to talk to each other. Don't go away when we do the breakout session. Okay? Don't resist what you don't like. That's growth. Okay? So progress creates referrals and perfection delays them. Okay? How many of you have sat in front of like Canva or your computer or whatever, and you just have invested hours in something, getting it just right, perfect, right? How much could you have accomplished in those 2 hours striving for perfection? We just want to get it done, right? So let's talk about where the referrals take shape. Every strong referral system starts with one honest question. Why would someone feel comfortable or confident referring someone to me? Okay? Before you think about scripts or systems, you must anchor yourself in clarity. You must have a crystal clear idea of who you serve and how you do it differently than other people. And you must recognize that there is referral opportunity, and you are the person positioned to receive those referrals. Okay? What I don't want you to do is you see an opportunity for a referral on Facebook and it has 492 comments, and you decide, I don't have a fighting chance, so I'm going to keep scrolling. Heck no. I want you to uniquely position yourself among the 492 comments that stand out in a memorable way that draws attention to you. We're going to talk about that. Okay? Your approach to referrals set the tone for your relationships. It influences how you communicate, how you follow through, and how you build trust. The next section, everybody got the workbook, right? I don't have to worry about that. Everybody has it? Perfect. I want you to take a quick self-assessment. What percentage of my business currently comes from referral? Some of you indicated 76 to 100%. All your business comes from referral. Some of you are newer and maybe you haven't built up any referrals yet, and you're in the first column. If referrals doubled over the next 12 months, what would realistically change in my life or business? Put that in the chat for me. If my referrals doubled in the next 12 months, how would that change my life or my business? Drop that in the chat for me. My life might be out of control, Cynthia, in a good way or a bad way? Hopefully a good way, but maybe are you a little worried about managing all those referrals? Maybe? Okay. Income and stress level. I would hope your income goes up and maybe your stress level goes down, Miriam, right? I love that. My husband wouldn't have to work as hard. Amen to that. Let's make that happen, right? I want to have family time. Y'all, what you may not know about me is in my 25-year career, many, Heather said financial stability. Amen, right? That right there is peace. That's peace of mind. Financial stability solves a lot of problems we deal with in our life and in our business, right? The answer to solving most of the problems you have are more sales, right? But the problem is we don't know where those more sales are going to come from. We're spinning our wheels in 100 directions, and we don't know what works and what doesn't work. We learn a lot through trial and error, right? I love these answers. I would become a power agent. Heck yeah, you are, girl. I see that already happening. Okay. Where do I feel stuck with referrals? Let's take a real true analysis of how we're managing referrals right now. Let's be very honest with ourselves. Do we get enough referrals? Do people clearly understand what we do and how we do it? Do we feel awkward asking for referrals? Does it feel a little salesy? For some people, the answer is yes. Okay. I don't know how to teach people to refer me. Maybe I haven't worked on that yet. Maybe nobody's even told me that I should do that. I just have been asking for referrals, right? Let's see. Yes, Cynthia, we're going to work on that system too, staying in contact with them on a regular basis. That's where a lot of us drop the ball, is in the follow-up, right? We are so grateful to get the referral, and maybe we start out strong with the first day or second day that they've referred us and we thank them. Maybe we even publicly posted how grateful we are. But did we actually follow through week after that to tell the person who referred us where they are, how they're doing, any trouble we're running into, right? And I don't have a system to track, thank, or follow up. Maybe you're not really using your CRM the way you should. Maybe you don't have a system in place for tracking these referrals. You don't even know who your biggest referral source was last year. That's a possibility, okay? Referrals come in waves, not consistently. I think, was it Miriam that said this, right? Maybe I get referrals, but they're not coming in as consistent as I would like them to, right? So I'm having to do more marketing or chasing because the business is not automatically being delivered to me, right? Awareness comes before improvement. You can't make any change unless you know what your current status is, okay? The clarity comes from making it easier to refer. Referrals happen when people feel clear about who you help. Who do you serve? Who is your target client? If you could, you guys, some of you may not be old enough, but do you remember the movie Weird Science? Cynthia might know, Heather might know. Weird Science, right? Glenn probably knows. Weird Science, these two boys like basically put in a computer and like created their dream woman, right? And if you could go into a computer and dream up your target client, your dream client, that everything worked exactly how it was supposed to. They respected you. They saw your value. They did things that when you asked them to do it, you didn't have to hunt them down. Cynthia knows what I'm talking about. You have to hunt down docs all day, right? Clearing up conditions. You got to stay on top of people. Your dream person doesn't have to do any of that. Your dream person does it. Maybe your dream person has a 820 credit score, right? Maybe they just have above 600. Jesus. You know, like you get to pick, right? Maybe they have a job. Ooh, now we're cooking with grease. You know, I want you to define who this dream client is. You get to cook them up. You get to put it in the computer and spit out, who do I want to work with, right? The purpose of that exercise is not to alienate people. It is not to exclude people. It does not mean that you are turning off a corner of your business that could have made you money. It is you are getting crystal clear about who gets the benefit of your time, your energy, and your money. Where are you spending it? Right? So what I want you to know is I want you to be very clear about who you help. Can you define that to somebody? Heather, if I were to do a one-on-one call with you today and I say, Heather, talk to me about who your target client is. Can you answer me and say, this is who I work with?
Yeah, I can tell you who I work with, but but who I want to work with is very different.
Well, that we need to fix, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to work on. But I want you to be able to articulate, this is who I would want to work with. This is who I serve, okay? Because here's the thing about referrals. I don't have to tell you who I currently work with. I want to tell you who I want to work with because those are the people I want you to find for me, right? It is as if I was buying a red car. If I told you all I was in the market for a red car, do you know what you would see for 2 weeks? Nothing but red cars, right? What you want to do is plant the red car seed in the mind of every person you come into contact with so that they know when they see a red car, that's you, right? But you have to be able to describe who you help in a way that people understand who it is that you're looking for, okay? I want you also, people should feel confident that referring you makes them look good. Y'all, I just hung up the phone 10 minutes before this from an agent at my company that somehow hired a VA that was referred to her by me but it was actually by my VA who went onto the Epic Cloud, posed as me, and tried to solicit their services across the whole company. Well, unfortunately, this agent hired this VA, and that VA caused a huge problem, right? They ended up having to fire them. This is not the first call I've gotten about that VA. It's about 5 or 6. So my point to you is, did that referral make me look good or bad? It made me look bad, right? For people who don't know me, people who have never had an interaction with me. And all the things that I do to build agents up and to support agents and to pour into them was negated by one experience. That's not fair, right? So what we want is to make sure that the people who are referring business to you are confident that when they refer you, they know that they're in good hands. They're in the best hands, okay? We want the people to feel safe that you will take excellent care of their person. And not only will you take excellent care of their person, you're going to keep them informed along the way so that they don't have to wonder, how's it going with Laura? How's it going with Heather? Is Cynthia taking good care of you? They already know the answers to those questions because you've told them. You've kept them informed every step of the way. That's going to require systems and automation and you to plan what that looks like in your business. Your goal is not to get more referrals. I'm going to say that again. Your goal is not to get more referrals. Your goal is to become easier to refer. Easier to refer. Your goal is to become more memorable. Your goal is when people hesitate to refer you, I want you to understand that it's not really about trust. If they don't, sometimes it is, but generally it's not about trust. It's about clarity. Do they know really what you do? Do they just know that you're a realtor? If that's all they know about you, no wonder you're not getting referrals from them. They have no idea how you conduct your business. They have no idea what special sauce you're adding to the mix to make this person feel safe and protected. They don't know what systems and processes you use to keep the client informed or to get them through the process. Our job is to help them know all of this information, okay? So we're going to start with page 8 that says your referral message, which is the core. And referrals start with language. I want you to fill in the blanks. Do not overthink this. This is not about perfection. I help who? Who do you help? Now, if you just say buyers or sellers, did you already just lose? Yep, you already lost. You know why? That's too generic. You can't possibly help every buyer in Tampa, but maybe you help divorced women in Tampa. Maybe you help families with young children in Tampa. Maybe you help move up buyers who are upgrading their current house to a larger house. Maybe you help downsizers, military, heroes. There's 1,000 lanes in real estate. Pick one. Okay? Who do you help? What problem does this person typically have? For Cynthia, that means they need money. They want to borrow money. For divorced women, maybe the problem is they don't know what they can do because they've always relied on their spouses, okay? Maybe they don't know their purchasing power. Their financial literacy is a little lacking. What problem does the person that you help have? This is your sweet spot right here. Do you know what problem they have? What are their concerns? What do they Google at 3 a.m.? What are they worried about? What are they frustrated with? What other experience with other realtors have they had? And how shitty was that? Excuse my language. How awful was that experience? Right? So sometimes you're overcoming a reputation that they had with somebody else or an experience they had with somebody else. This, a lot of times for me, is the case with most of the people that I'm referred to. Most of the people that I'm referred to have had an experience with a realtor before, and it has been awful. So I'm not only coming in having to do damage repair, but I'm coming in having to prove to them that I'm not like everybody else. That's my sweet spot. Let me show you how I shine. Let me show you what my difference is. I can't just tell you. I have to show you because we're really good at lip service. We're really good at hearing ourselves talk. But do we show up and show the difference? So by now, I want you to know, who do you serve? What problems do they have? The third button is, how do I do it? How do I do what I do that is differently than the 26,000 other realtors in Middle Tennessee? And Miriam's going, girl, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. So this is where I'm going to lean in. I am very system and process oriented. I utilize checklists, systems, things so I make sure things don't slip through the cracks, right? If you go back to your problem, what is the problem that your client has? Maybe they don't trust realtors, right? So how do I do it? I build trust at every step along the way so that they can trust me. Maybe their problem is that they don't qualify for very much money. Maybe that's who I've chosen to work with, but that's a community that I'm passionate about serving. And their problem is that maybe they don't qualify for as much as what the houses in my area go for. So how do I do it? I have to be creative. Sometimes I have to find off-market solutions that they can afford. Sometimes I offer other solutions about alternative locations that they hadn't considered. Sometimes we can get creative with the financing with special programs that allow them to qualify for more money. Sometimes we leverage negotiation tactics with sellers and help them buy down the rate to make it more affordable. Do you see how I'm solving the problems? That's what you need to do. How do you solve the problems that your target person has? Does that make sense, Miriam? Not yet? Do you want to dive deeper in that with me?
Well, here's the thing. The referrals that I have, my sphere of influence, most likely, or people that, whatever the case, that's not the point. They just send me any type of people. So they can be relocating, but as you say, they can be divorcing, or they can be whatever their problem is. They don't always have the same problem. And that my issue is that I don't get, as you say, the consistency in the referral. So I can have 3 in January and then 0 until June. So I don't want that I want to have like a system to,
Okay.
but
I got you.
definitely I have to create the persona, say, okay, I'm just gonna help those kind of people and do not refer me your grandma or whatever. Okay, so
Well,
I
they
don't
can
know.
refer them to me. Sometimes I can refer them out to somebody else and still make mailbox
that
money, but I
that
don't have to
too,
pick them, right?
that
I
too,
don't have to
that
work
too.
with them. But here's what I want you to understand. This class is called Referral Mastery. Okay. The reason I chose those words were because right now you operate off referrals, but you're not a master at them yet. And the difference is that you are reactive to the referrals that are coming into you right now. And what I want to teach you is to be proactive to request referrals from other people. I want you to be proactive in taking time intimately with people who are in a position to refer your target client. Who do you want to work with? Not who you have to pay your bills. Who do you want to work with? And your job is to become a master at explaining to this person what you do and how you do it and why you are the person uniquely positioned to help their person. That is the mastery of it. And that is the difference of where you are versus where we're headed. Okay. We are headed in proactivity, where what I want you to have is a list of people who have referred to you in the past, right? But I also want you to add to that list and come up with a list of connectors. The connectors are the people that you know are in a unique position of influence, that have influence, that are able to refer you the person you want to work with, not the person you've had to. That's the difference. Do you get that? Like, do you see where I'm going with that? It is, we are being more proactive than reactive, and we're creating the referrals we want to receive. We're teaching people how to give us the people we want to work with, not the people I have to drag around and kick around that I don't like, that don't like me, right? I know everyone loves you, so I'm not worried about that. But I don't want you to have to work. If you have 30 hours to work with a client, you could spend those 30 hours working with somebody that is very difficult, that is challenging, that is disrespectful to you, that maybe doesn't show up for their appointments, that complains about things, is picky, or you could work 30 hours with somebody who respects you as what you do. They know that you're a valuable part of this transaction and they know they need you. They are responsive, they are respectful, and they see you as the helper. Now, which one of those clients would you rather work with? Exactly, right? So I want you to understand, like, you may not have the answers to all of this right now. My job is to plant the seed for you, to get you, to force you to think about what you do and how you do it, so that then you can start practicing it and speaking it and taking the time to meet with these connectors that you're going to identify, and you're going to spend time educating them about who it is you want to work with, not who you've had to work with. Make sense? All right. And then the last box there is so that they can. What is the result? For me, my clients are primarily sellers. I specialize in listings. Okay. Because I can be on a beach in Mexico with a cocktail in my hand and still make money. To me, listings are leverage, they're freedom. Okay. Now, buyers are a very important part of my business too. They always have been. But because I focus on sellers, that is the primary bulk of my clients because that's what I prefer. You may choose, hey, Cynthia needs buyers. That's how she makes money, right? She needs buyers to want to borrow money. But for me, sometimes buyers 25 years in, I don't want to drag these people around for 6 months and show them 200 houses and waste all my gas and have to feed them 14 times. And I've shown them the perfect house 14 times and they still don't want that one. That's not fun for me. And it delays me getting paid. And I like money. Okay. So you get to pick who you want to work with. You get to decide what skills or what kind of characteristics they have that is in alignment with you. And then you get to say, how do I solve the problems, fears, feelings, concerns that they have so that they can? The can is that they buy a house, they sell a house, they refer you other people, right? I want you to have a so that they can. For a divorced woman, let's say that that's your target client, so that they can independently build wealth in their new chapter of their life. Do you notice the words that I'm using with that? It's not just so that they can buy a house. This is the big distinction, y'all. When you go to a party or a networking event and someone says, what do you do for a living? How do you answer that question? How do you answer that question? What do you do for a living? Not all at once, y'all. Come on now. Let me check this chat because y'all love that because you don't have to be vulnerable on chat. Let's see. Yes, it can be two different types of personas for sure. But Miriam, clarity is choosing one, right? Clarity is this is my first choice. But beyond my first choice, this is also who I help. But I want you to understand if I'm the referral partner, if I'm the person you're asking to refer someone to you, and you give me a list of 3 different types of clients, I don't really know yet who you serve. You serve too many different people for me to remember who all you serve. So my advice to you is select the one, right? And remember, it's about being memorable. But yes, you can have more than one type. But my advice to you is try to pick one lane. If you remember, each client type is a lane on the interstate. Okay. So if I work with first time home buyers, that's this lane. Sellers who are relocating out of the country or out of the state, that's another lane, right? First time home buyers might be in lane 3. If you were driving your car in all of these lanes, would you get to your destination? No, because you're going in and out of lanes, right? Pick a lane, okay? Do not worry about picking the lane as an exclusion or it's going to hurt you. Picking the lane is clarity. It's going to make everything so much easier for you. Pick one, okay?
That is the scariest thing, though, as you're starting out to
Yes.
commit yourself to one thing. Because in my area, the biggest market is the big, huge vacation rental investment homes.
Okay.
But to get into that market is tough because so many established agents are here. So you end up working with first-time home buyers who are a third of the purchase price of the vacation rentals.
So,
And so that's where I want to transition. I love helping first-time home buyers, but I want to transition to the listing side of those vacation rentals
okay.
because I worked in property management for 10 years, 15 years,
Okay.
know the ins and outs of that. I know how to help them make the most of their rental investment.
Yeah.
But my church, my friends, my family are referring first-time home buyers.
Okay, but that's because we haven't educated them about who else you'd like to work with,
Right,
right?
right.
And
And
when
my
you and
sphere is not necessarily connected to those investors.
okay, so
So
here's what I wanted to,
that's what I've got to expand the sphere to get
yes,
to the connectors. That was what I
okay,
just,
I love that.
yeah.
So when you and I do our discovery call, if you book one with me, you and I are going to talk about this at length and continue to talk about. But here's what I want you to know about me. Remember, I told you that I have sold in 4 states. I've been a broker in 4 states, which means I picked up my business, I moved to another state and started over from scratch 4 times. Okay. I want to ask you something. Do you think I worried about the current agents that were there each time I picked up and moved my business and started over?
No.
Absolutely not. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care
Yeah, and
who's
I don't
already
worry
there.
about them because I know the value that I can
That's
bring.
right.
I just have to get in front of the people because
Okay.
they're
Well, that's what you and
frustrated.
I will work on.
Yeah, they are very frustrated with the existing agents for sure because
Right.
they'll stick a sign out and then leave them. They don't
Right.
do anything.
Well, that is
But
why I never worried about the competition, right?
right,
Because we know what our special sauce is, we know what skills we bring. Then it becomes a messaging issue. It
yeah,
becomes how do I position myself
yes,
as the person who specializes in that? And that is all about messaging. That is
yeah,
about you putting out the message that this is what you do and who you serve. It all
yeah,
starts with this, the core, right? It all starts with who do I want to work with? I
right,
also want to make this very clear to you. It is very difficult for some people to pick a lane because they're worried, they're nervous. If I pick this lane, what if I pick this lane and it takes me a little while to get started, or maybe that's not where my sphere is, like you said. Well, when I moved 4 times, I had to create a sphere from scratch over again every
right,
single time.
yeah,
And that can be done. It just takes intention. It
right,
takes strategy, right? But when you know this information, which is who do I want to work with? What problems do they have? What feelings do they have? How do I do it differently? You already can establish a difference between your service and somebody else's that they've been accustomed to just by leaning in on some of the tools we have, on some of the strategies that we have, right? You don't have
yeah,
to throw the other agents under the bus to make yourself shine,
right,
right? But you're going to talk about what you do that's different so that they can, what is the end result that you help make happen? Okay. I help families become homeowners. I love that. I create wealth. Y'all, I love this because this is 100% what I say when people ask me, what do I do? I help people build long-term wealth through the purchase and sale of real estate. That is my answer. You will not ever hear me for 25 years. You will not ever hear me say that I am a realtor or I'm in real estate. Never. I help people build long-term wealth through the acquisition, through the purchase or sale of real estate. You've got to come up with your own sentence. What do you do? Because you're going to be at networking events. You're going to be at conferences. You're going to be at events where you meet other realtors or maybe other professionals that are uniquely positioned to connect you. And if you say, I'm a realtor, guess what's going to happen? They're going to scatter like cockroaches. They don't care that you're a realtor. You're one of 3 million. Who cares? Right? And here's the other thing I want you to know. Everyone knows 10 realtors. Everyone. So how do you position yourself so that you're not just one of the 10, you're the one.
right,
You're the one because you've spent intimate time educating people about what you do and how you do it. You're solving the problems that everyone knows this target client has. First-time home buyers, some of the problems that they have. They are unsure about what to expect. They think they can't afford anything. They don't know anything about home maintenance and what all is involved in buying a home. They're scared to be house poor. The mortgage payment's super high. Think about all the things that they think about. Then in my messaging, how I promote my business, I'm going to solve the problems that speak to them. I'm going to let them know that I have the solutions for the thing that's keeping them up at night. I am uniquely positioned to help them because I understand what their fears are. I know what their worries are, what their concerns are, and I already have solutions in place to help you navigate it. Now, do you feel more comfortable hiring me?
Right.
Yes, because I speak to what you're already worried about.
Yeah.
I've acknowledged what your pain points are and what you're Googling at 3 a.m. I understand what you need. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
You got to get good about explaining this, though. So then I want you to understand what makes me different. And this is the part that, despite the fact that all realtors love to talk about themselves, they have a hard time answering this. When I say, what makes you different? What is your edge? What do you bring to the table that's different? Now, the easiest way to do this is to think about the worst agent in your market. And list, yeah, look, Miriam just went, huh? I want you to look at the worst agent in your market, or the person that has the worst reputation, and write down all the features or characteristics that person has. They're late all the time. They don't return phone calls. Their listings are crap. They're not even prepared for the market, right? Maybe they don't even have competency. They don't even know what the contract says. They miss dates and deadlines. They don't advise or educate their client, so the client has no idea what. Do you see a pattern here? And then what you do is say, okay, that's not me. I'm not fly-by-night realty. So what do I do? What is my edge that makes me different? Now, for me, if my target client was a relocating person, you know what makes me different is I have moved 4 times. I didn't just grow up and stayed here. I know what it takes to pick up your life and move it across the state and not know a single human. That means I can help you with job placement. It means I can help you assimilate to your community faster. It means that I understand the stress you're under having to relocate your life. Now, if I talk about that on my social media, if I talk about that in my marketing, now you see who I help and why I'm the person you should call, not just a random realtor, right? You see what I'm going with? You see where I'm going? So, are you good at speed? Are you great at communication? Do you have a specific expertise that is specific to that client that they need? Right? So, for example, one of my coaching clients, she specializes in people who have a trust or have gone through probate, maybe a property that has been inherited through the death of a family member. That is a unique level of expertise. You cannot serve those people if you don't even know how probate works. You cannot serve those people if you don't understand how a trust applies to an inherited piece of property. But because this is who she specializes in, she markets herself as being the expert when it comes to inherited properties like that. So is that your edge? What experience do you have from another type of industry or another type of career that applies to real estate? Some of my coaching clients are accountants, right? Or they have been lenders in the past, so they understand the mortgage process better than just any generic realtor, right? What expertise do you have or experience in something that applies to your target client? Do you have proven systems or processes that are unique to you? So for me, it starts at the very beginning on my onboarding. I have mapped out my entire client journey from the minute the referral comes in or the minute that the lead comes into me, how we respond to it, their onboarding, if you will. That's their first impression of me. That starts with a handwritten note and maybe a gift. It starts with a video text introducing me so they can see my face, hear my voice, see my mannerisms. They're a little bit more familiar with me. Does that make sense? Like it starts, you get to identify where in the process do you sprinkle a little of your special sauce on it. That's how you create memorable experiences that are referral worthy. Everybody agrees with that, right? How can we elevate it? Because we are not the fly-by-the-night joker. We hold ourselves to higher standards. We are changing the narrative about what people think about realtors, one client at a time, or lenders, right? We're changing the perception they have about us. We are not used car salespeople. We're not slimy bastards that you can't trust. We are professionals that pour into our career and into other people. We serve. And we have competency that helps them navigate some of the most stressful things, a stressful transition, a stressful purchase, a stressful sale. We have competency to help them navigate that, to protect our clients' money and to protect them legally. You've never wanted to be a realtor more in your life, did you? I know. I have a way of explaining it. It makes it sound so glorious and glamorous, right? But do you think your clients know this about you or our profession? No, they think all we do is open doors. Well, there's 283 other things I do. That's my job to educate people about what we do differently, why we're not like the rest, okay? Maybe one of your edge items is access or resources. So I work with a lot of investors as well, and I have a database of about 350 investors that are always looking to buy up properties. So for me, that's an edge that I bring to the table, because if I meet with sellers who don't want to go on the market, who just want a cash offer, I have a network of 350 investors that I can pitch their property to. If you guys are at Epic, you also have a network of investors to pitch it to through the Epic, through the Click Offers program or Homeward or whatever. You have those too. And you can also build your own network of investors if that's who you're trying to attract. Okay. I want you to be able to explain your difference in one sentence. This is going to be a challenge because we're very wordy people and we feel like we got to squeeze it all in. One sentence. What is your difference maker? All right. The next page, page 9, you're going to have a 2-sentence referral description. So this is going to be the who and what and the how and outcome plus difference. So I help transitioning seniors, right? Most of my clients love that I connect them with resources that help with estate sales, estate planning, tax attorneys, right? So I'm a one-stop shop for my transitioning seniors who don't really know what all is involved. I am armed with resources that I know they're going to need along the way in this process. Does that make sense? Who do you help? Most of your clients love what about your service? Can you articulate that and say that to your referral partners? What do people love about working with you? What is the result that a lot of them get? My clients successfully sell their house within 90 days or less. My buyers find the right home for them with the least amount of inconvenience and feel like they got a win in this market. What is the end result? And it has to be more than just you closed, okay? I helped my client find the house that's right for them and to help them navigate or negotiate the strongest offer that helped them feel like they got a win in this market. Could my buyers get a win 3 or 4 years ago? No, they got taken advantage of. They had to overpay. They had to give up inspections. They had to give up the rights to appraisal. They couldn't ask for repairs. So we're in a totally different market now where now my clients get to feel like they win. They don't have to pay full price. They maybe can ask for concessions. They get some of their closing costs paid. They can ask for repairs. The sellers are grateful because they just want to sell their house right now because there's so much inventory. So are you able to explain to people what the result is that people have when they work with you? And it has to be more than just, I got them to the closing table. Okay, how? What did you do that was unique? What did you do that's different? And y'all, don't overcomplicate it. It might be as simple as I answer the phone when you call me. Y'all laugh, but guess what? That's the #1 complaint consumers have about realtors. Even me, when I call realtors to check in on a coaching thing, or you attended a session or whatever, do you know how many messages I have to leave before I get one to call me back? At least 60 probably. We suck at answering the phone. And if that's their first impression of you, do you think they feel all warm and fuzzy and the butterflies that you're the right person when they've already had to leave you 3 messages? No. So I am going to ask you to give yourself a confidence check. I want you to say the sentence once you get this mapped out, because you may not have this now. But once you get this mapped out, I want you to have your sentence that says, here's who I help, here's what most clients love about working with me, and here's what the end result is. Okay? I want you to keep practicing that. And then this confidence is going to get bigger as you work out the kinks in it, as you tweak it to sound more like you, as you become more comfortable with the words. Okay? Questions before I move on? Comments? Y'all all still with me? Or are you taking a nap? Okay. You started doing other things I could see, so I'm just making sure you're still with me. I want you to understand, who do you want more of? Miriam, this is where you get to say not who I had to work with, but who do I want to work with, right? What type of person or business? What stage are they in life? Do they have young kids? Are their kids grown? Are they empty nesters? Are they in the mix? Are they blessed with an 11-year-old with an attitude? Where are they in life? What is their common pain point? What is their common goal? Right? All buyers right now want a deal. They want to feel like they got to win. Okay? What is their budget or price range? Here's the part, Miriam and Heather. Again, you only have so many hours to work on your business. You can invest those 30 hours in chasing around a $250,000 buyer, or you can invest your 30 hours in a $750,000 buyer. Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, I'm gonna chase the 750.
I want the big check, y'all. Yes.
Yeah.
So if I have 30 hours, why I don't have to work with somebody that only qualifies for 250. I don't have to do that. And I know it feels counterproductive or counterintuitive because you're used to chasing anything that has a heartbeat and a pulse. Anybody that remotely lifts their pinky to say, I'm interested in buying a house. But I'm here to tell you, you get to decide who you work with. And if you want to go after a higher price point, a luxury market, the short-term rental market, whatever that is at a higher price point, go after it. There's nothing stopping you from going after a higher price point and increasing your paycheck. Give yourself a raise. Stop working so hard to earn pennies.
Yeah.
Okay? What are their common goals? What's their budget or price range? What are the red flags or what's not a fit? This is really important because we're really good at saying what we want, and sometimes we're afraid to say what we don't want. I'll be real honest with you, and I might offend somebody right here, is typically what I do. I don't want to work with someone that's not tolerant of me. I don't want to work with somebody who has come to the table with preconceived ideas about who I am as a person. Maybe we don't align politically, and that's okay. I've cashed checks from people that I am diabolically opposed to politically. I don't give a shit. I'll still sell you a house, right? I'll cash the check, but not at the expense of my mental health, not at the expense of how you treat me, not at the expense of having to bite my tongue to the point where it's bleeding because you're not a good person. I'm not interested in that. And I've been doing this way too long to put up with nonsense from people who don't deserve my respect or my time or energy or my money. Because here's the other part. I am investing money in these sellers' houses until it sells, right? I only get paid when it sells. So if I'm going to give you my money, if I'm going to invest my money in you and your house, we need to be aligned in some way because I don't want to bite my tongue anymore. I don't want to work with people who think I'm the devil and I'm going to hell. I don't want to work with people who question whether or not I'm the right fit for them. I don't want to convince you. I don't have to convince you. My experience is enough to convince you that I'm the right choice. And if you feel like I'm not the right choice, don't worry. I'm going to sniff out that you're not the right fit for me sooner than you will. and I will let you go because I have to protect my resources. I have to protect my time. But more importantly, I have to protect my mental health and my safety. So you are not obligated to work with everybody that raises their hand for a paycheck. If you fill your pipeline so full of who you want, the people that are not in alignment with you all of a sudden become very clear. They stick out a lot easier. You learn to sniff them out faster. Hey, we're not in alignment. These are red flags. I had a client that I'm working with here in Western North Carolina. I've almost fired this client twice now. And it's only been 3 weeks, I think. Twice in 3 weeks. He said, send me the houses we're looking at tomorrow and hurry up because we're at dinner. I said, excuse me? Right? But that's my choice, right? I get to choose if I put up with that. And I told him, hey, if we're going to work together, this is not how we're going to speak to each other. So I'm going to put a boundary in place. That doesn't mean I fire him right away. I'm going to put up with a little bullshit just to earn my check, maybe, because that's part of my job. But I'm going to put boundaries in place to let him know you're not going to continue to talk to me that way. This is not how our relationship is going to evolve or transform, right? The boundaries are important to protect myself, right? They're for you. And if we are going to command that these people treat us like the professionals we are, then we must say something when they start to treat us like we are anything other than the professional that we are. When you start treating me like a used car salesman, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to align myself with the professional in your mind that I am. I am equivalent with my experience and education to the attorney that you hired for the lawsuit you were named in. I am the equivalent to the accountant you hired to file your taxes for your businesses, right? I am the equivalent to someone that you pay money for a service in return. I am not a used car salesman that is just out to get your money and I'll sell you anything to cash a check. And when I smell things like that, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to put boundaries in place and say, maybe you've confused me with someone else. Maybe you've had an experience with a different agent and that is causing you to behave this way, but that's not how we're going to work together. And guess what? Like children, your clients also thrive on structure and boundaries.
They do. And you know, something that I have found is if I don't project my value, it's definitely not going to be presumed.
Yeah. They're never going to presume that you have great intentions and that you're out to protect them. They're going to go to the negative each and every time.
Yeah. They're always defensive. So if you can't, if I can't defend myself without being defensive, if I can't articulate my value and know my value, they're certainly never going to know it.
Yeah. And first of all, that's our job to know our value, right? Bless you. That's our job to know what our value is. It's our job to be able to educate them about what we bring to the table that's different, right? If I were, let's say I was accused of murder, never going to happen, but maybe he mouthed off to me one too many times, okay? And I have to hire a criminal attorney. You better believe I'm going to interview several, right? I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to choose the attorney that is in alignment with me that I feel like is best equipped to be competent to get me not to go to jail for the rest of my life, right? I'm looking for a certain skill set. Your clients are doing the same. They just don't know better yet. So some of them don't know what they're supposed to ask or what they're looking for. That's our job to teach them, right? Here's what you should be asking when you're hiring a realtor. Here's what your realtor, here's the traits that a great realtor should have. And I list the traits and say, guess what? I am so lucky I got blessed with all of those. Right? Humor goes a long way too, y'all. You have to be relatable. You have to be human. You're not a robot. Okay? I want you to earn referrals without begging. Every interaction you have is one of three things. You are either making a deposit with someone, it's a neutral act, or you're making a withdrawal. Neutral acts have no impact. The people don't remember it one way or another. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just okay? The withdrawals, you're too salesy. You're too pushy. You're too needy. Or you're transactional. They don't feel connected to you. They don't feel like you have their best interest at heart. The deposits, that is where you are pouring into people. You are building trust with every small little action that you take in your onboarding from the minute they come in all the way through post-closing. You are making small little deposits that build trust, goodwill, and demonstrate that you are not like the joker in your market that everybody hates. That makes sense? You're either making a deposit or withdrawal or nothing. And nothing isn't memorable. So let's make more deposits, less withdrawals. Okay? Your goal is not perfection. It's about consistency. This is the part where we suck. We're not consistent in anything. We try it all for 2 weeks and then we move on in another direction, right? So I've given you some suggestions of what deposits look like. I introduce people to each other with zero expectation. You must become, this is for you too, Cynthia, you must become the mayor of your town. Do you know what the mayor is? The mayor knows everyone. I have friends in my life that I call the mayor. Everywhere we go, they run into people they know, right? They are super connected. You must be that person. You must be the person that knows so many people. When I moved, every state I moved to, I used the memory jogger. You can Google it if you don't have it. It's called the memory jogger. It's by Michael Mayer, who wrote a book, the memory jogger has a list of industries or businesses. And when I moved to a new town, I went through the memory jogger and I checked off every time I came to a category where I had a contact. I would check it off. And when I got to a category I didn't know anyone, I would highlight it. That highlight became who I would go talk to, who I would force myself to go meet, who I would ask for recommendations of. And in a year's time, I built an entire network from scratch in every industry across town using the memory maker, the memory jogger. So I want you to introduce other people to each other, connect people. You want to be the community connector, the town mayor. I share helpful information publicly. I'm not a gatekeeper. This is the difference of us, y'all, even at Epic. We are not gatekeepers. We want, when one person wins, we all win. When one realtor establishes themselves as a great professional, we win just a little bit because now we have one less person thinking we're a used car salesman, right? If it's just one at a time, good Lord, I might die or collect Social Security before we change it, but I'm going to try my best, right? I spotlight and support other businesses, and this is with zero expectation in return. I want my local businesses to thrive. I want them to stay open. I want people to go to them, buy things from them, sit at their restaurant, use their services. I don't know if you've ever seen a town where businesses shut up and close, where they go out of business, but it's scary. It's apocalyptic, and it doesn't feel secure. That also does not create an environment where people are safe entering the real estate market. When businesses are closing around you, it does not make buyers feel secure about entering the real estate market, right? So help keep the businesses around you open, support them, meet with the business owners and ask, who is your target customer? Who do you love who uses your services? Get to know the businesses. Celebrate your client or customer wins. Every time one of my clients gets a promotion at work, we're making a big deal out of it. I'm sending a cake. I'm sending balloons. I'm sending a handwritten card. Every time one of my clients has a win, I'm there to celebrate because I am the biggest cheerleader in their life. The same thing happens when they have something bad happen. Their dog dies, I'm going to be the first one there sending flowers or a blanket or an ornament or something like that to commemorate their loss. Okay? I stay in touch well after the transaction is complete. This is crucial. If you want to become transactional, forget about your clients after closing. If you want to be a part of their life for life, you stay in contact with them throughout. That's how you get invited to their baby showers, to their graduation parties, to their weddings. You have to have a relationship that extends beyond the purchase and sale of the house. Yeah. I ask thoughtful questions and remember details. This is my special sauce. This is my special skill. I wrote down when your anniversary was. I put it in my phone the minute you told me, and we were looking at houses. And guess what? I went home and bought an anniversary card and stuck it in my folder for March. And when March came along, I mailed it to you. You could not believe 6 months later that I remembered what your anniversary was. That's impactful. I remembered that your kid made the cheerleading team, and I sent your kid flowers. I follow through on what I say I will do. This is the easiest, but the hardest. This is establishing precedent. This is establishing a relationship of trust. If I tell you I'm going to send you listings tonight and I don't do it, now you've already started to question, do I do what I say I'm going to do? So here's the thing, be an over communicator. Let's say you promised to send listings tonight and you weren't able to. Send a message that said, hey, I know I said I'd send you listings tonight, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that tomorrow morning. You don't have to give an excuse. Don't be stupid. Just tell them, I can't do it today, but I will get it to you tomorrow. Over communicate when you cannot deliver something you promised. They don't care that you didn't do it as much as you are going to do it. Just do it. But if you say you're going to do something, try to do it when you say you're going to. I show gratitude consistently and I maintain a visible, consistent presence. This is the other part, consistency. If you want people to refer you, they cannot see you as a Mary Kay consultant, a bartender, and a realtor, and you think that they only see you as a realtor. They don't actually see you as a realtor. They see you as a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? Yeah. So are you consistent? 2 deposits that I will commit to in the next 30 days. Drop in the chat which 2 you're going to do. We're sliding on home here. Don't check out on me. All right now. What deposits are we making? Come on now, y'all like pulling teeth today. Let's go. What deposits are we making?
I was thinking about reaching out to my past clients and asking them what their New Year's resolutions are.
Perfect.
Just as a conversation starter, you know?
Love it. Love it. And then what you do is listen for opportunities for you to help support their resolutions, right? Mm-hmm. So if a friend is saying, you know, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds, right? Maybe you mm-hmm. send them a week's worth of meals that are already prepped, or maybe you send them a yoga mat, right? Like, you don't have to go crazy. Maybe you just send them a card of encouragement saying, hey, I'm going to be right there along with you, and I support your decision to choose health this year. You're listening and looking for opportunities to shine. You're looking for opportunities to love on them, unlike any way they've ever been loved on or supported by a professional of this caliber.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. I love consistent communication. All right, I'm going to move on then. Common referral moments. These are the things that you are training your referral partners to look for. Remember my red car syndrome, right? I am teaching my referral partners keywords to listen for and look for, okay? People typically buy or sell houses when they have a life event. What kinds of life events do your target clients have? Did they just have a baby? Did their kids go off to college? Did they just have a death in the family? Did they just get married? Is their daughter getting married? They're broke, right? So what life event do your clients have? You're teaching your people to listen for when someone says, we're thinking about moving. We're thinking about replacing our roof. We're thinking about downsizing. We're thinking about changing school districts. Anytime you can fill in the blank we're thinking about that applies to your target client, you're teaching your referral partners to look out for these things, okay? We're thinking about moving, but we're struggling with our affordability, struggling with what we can afford. Well, maybe you need to call my friend Cynthia and she can help figure out which is the best product for you that might be which one you can leverage to actually qualify for more money. Maybe we have maybe Cynthia has some strategies where we can utilize some funds from the seller to pay down the rate and make this a little bit more affordable for you. Did you know you can do that right now in our market? These are the things I'm teaching people to say, right? I'm teaching them to tee me up. Do you know anyone who? So I want my referral partner to say, when they say, do you know anyone who helps people who have inherited property? Absolutely, you need to call my girl Janice. Okay? I'm overwhelmed by the news. I don't know that this is a good time for me to get into the market if you're a first-time home buyer, right? You want to teach them to say, hey, I know that it's a scary thing to buy a house for the first time, but my girl Heather's got you. Okay? My girl Heather is skilled in working with first-time home buyers, and this is what she specializes in. She's going to help you ease your fears and concerns. Okay? I want to ask you a question. On Facebook, when somebody says, I'm looking for a realtor in ... Miriam, where do you live? What part of town do you live?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
I love it. So you're on Facebook and you see Orlando, Florida. Somebody says, my family and I are relocating from Michigan to beautiful, sunny Orlando, right? And they are looking for a recommendation for a realtor. I want to ask you a question. You will see 496 comments under that post, right? And some of y'all will just keep scrolling by it and go, they've already got plenty of choices, right? But here's the thing. You have a way to stand out among the 496 comments. That can be as simple as you posting a graphic that says all things about living in Orlando, or what you need to know before you move to Orlando. Or maybe you have a link to a blog that says best neighborhoods to consider in Orlando below 500,000, or a checklist of relocating to Orlando. What kind of things do people need to do? So here's what most agents do. They comment on the Facebook post and they say, well, I can help. Here's my number. Here's a link to my website. That's about the max you get, right? Then you've got other agents that have like a referral network, and they send a link to the post to like 50 of their friends. And then all of a sudden you have this like frenzy of 50 people referring this one person. That message isn't heard by anybody because they already know what it is, right? Or you can show up with things of value that is not salesy. It is helpful. It is connective, right? And establishes you as the person that says, hey, I'm not desperate for your business. I wish you well in your relocation here. If I can be of assistance, maybe this little tool will help you. Maybe this item of value that I've given you will help you. Come from a place of assistance, not sales. Does that make sense? Yes. I don't trust realtors. I get this one a lot. I don't trust realtors. And what I've trained my people to say is, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. There's a lot of realtors I don't know that you should trust, but I know some that are a little different. I know some that operate differently. I know some that have earned my referrals because they've already proven that they do a great job. They've already proven that they're different, right? So if your person that is in a position to refer people to you deals with a lot of people who maybe have had bad experiences with realtors, it's an opportunity for them to tee you up as different. It's an opportunity for them to say, hey, I know you've worked with a lot of realtors, but Sam is not like most realtors. Let me tell you why they're different. This is the other part about those Facebook posts. If you are only commenting your name and phone number, you've already lost. But what if you commented instead and said, I specialize in relocation to the Orlando area. I help families transitioning. I just lost the earbud completely. I specialize in helping transitioning families to Orlando to help them assimilate faster. I help them with job placement. I help them find daycare. I help them find doctors. I help them find resources for their special needs kids. I help connect them with a hairdresser, with a pet sitter, with a babysitter. So do I just want the realtor, or do I want the realtor who can connect me to my new life?
Right.
Don't you think that's going to go a lot further than just your stupid name and phone number? I do, right? So, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to buy investment property, but I don't know where to start. These are sentences that you want to train or teach your referral partners. You might have some specific phrases that are specific to your target client. Here's where you write them down. What are you teaching your referral people to listen for, to look for? What is the red car you're teaching them to be on the hunt for? Make sense? All right, from awareness to action, we're fully aware. I'll tell you why people don't refer you. They are unclear about what you do. They don't want to bother you, which is a joke. They're afraid of getting it wrong. They don't know what to say or they forget. Your job is to remove the friction, not apply pressure, but to earn their referrals. You're going to teach people what to listen for. On page 16, you're going to come up with phrases or things that you want people to be on the lookout for. I've given you guys some scripts that kind of help. Hey, if you ever hear someone talking about ... that's my sweet spot. That's what I'm really good at. That's what I'm highly qualified on. That's what I specialize in, right? If someone in your world is dealing with death or birth or marriage, any of those life events, B might be the conversation you use for that. Okay? C could be if you ever hear anyone who needs help with navigating trusts or probate. I'm your girl. Happy to help. Happy to help anybody you know that needs additional help. It is a complicated process, and I want to simplify it for them. Okay? The introduction request, this is the part that I want you to work on. How do you want people to refer people to you? Do you want them to do a group text? Do you want a group email? Do you want them to give you the person's information and you contact? You have to decide for yourself, how do you want to receive the referral? But the big thing I want you to understand is that your process is going to start from the minute that you receive the referral. You are going to publicly thank the person who referred them to you. So I go on Facebook and I say, I'm so grateful for Susan Smith, who referred her coworker, Michaela, to me. We're starting to look at houses next week, and I'm so grateful for people who trust in me with their friends and family. That's a public appreciation, but guess what else it does? It teaches other people to refer me. It shows them that I accept referrals, and it teaches them that, hey, this is how I build my business. Refer people to me. So publicly acknowledge it. Reward them privately. Whatever you do to reward referrals, that might be reciprocity. Maybe it's your turn now to find some business for them. Maybe it's your turn to treat them to dinner or send them a gift card or a handwritten, whatever that looks like, right? And then I'm going to encourage you to have a follow-up sequence that is set up for you. So that means when the referral comes in, you're immediately responding to the person who sent it to them, thanking them for it. And then maybe a day later, you tell them, I have connected with her. This is where we are. She's sent over to the lender for pre-approval, and we're going to start looking at houses on Saturday, right? Give them an update. But my advice to you is, hey, if you don't have systems in place to remind you, use your phone. Tell it, hey, Siri, can you remind me in 2 days to send an update to Cynthia? Can you remind me in 2 weeks to send an update to Cynthia? You can set all of those up when the lead comes in and automate your life so that people don't slip through the cracks. There's lots of tools that will do that for you, but you can use as simple as Siri to do that for you if you have an iPhone. You know what I mean? You know? I am so sorry. Let me share the workbook again with you. I realize somebody didn't get it, but my apologies to you for that. Thank you for dropping the memory jogger. I think Maite did that. So thank you. I did drop the book for you again. Referral tracker. This is a one sheet that you guys can print out per referral that you get that says, when did I get it? Who gave it to me? What was their problem or their need? How do I best communicate with them? Are they texters? Are they email? Did they come in through Messenger? Which way are you going to talk to them? And then you can keep and track your updates if you'd like to. We talked about the public thank you, shouting out gratitude to Sam for connecting me with someone they care about. I never take referrals lightly, and thank you so much for trusting me. You can write your own version of that, whatever you want your public thank you to be, okay? The private reward can be as simple as dropping off cookies or mailing them whatever. You can make a donation in their name to a cause that they're passionate about. You have to listen to what your people appreciate. And my referral partners, when I'm spending time getting to know them, I'm asking, what are your favorite restaurants? What charities do you support? What kind of events do you participate in the year? How can I return the favor to you? Who's your target client? Maybe I'm inviting them to a VIP event as a thank you, right? Maybe I'm sending them something local to my area, whatever that is, okay? I want you to establish some guidelines for yourself when somebody sends you a referral. What is the timeline that you begin your process? You should not need to sign up for anything for the memory joggers. If you guys give me just a second, I can drop it for you for free, but you shouldn't need to pay for anything to get that. Okay. Give me 1 second and I'll give that to you. All right. Your referrer should never wonder, did they reach out? Okay, as a broker who has provided leads for my agents for years and years and years, a lot of times I don't even know if the agent has called them. I don't know if they've replied to them. Did they reach out to them? Did they get them on the phone? Were they receptive to working with them? Right? How many times have you referred another realtor and you found out that the realtor you referred them to is not a good match? You should know that right away so you can refer someone else to them. That's part of your work in telling the person, hey, if they're not a good fit, you tell me. I've got a whole database of people that I can refer you to. And if they're not a good fit, it's okay. I've got someone else for you. But I want to know right away, right? You're always going to be grateful that you received the referral. You're going to update them that you did make contact and what the next steps were. And then you're going to keep them informed. Hey, we looked at houses. We're ready to write an offer. Or, hey, they close on their house next Thursday. And I'm so grateful for you. Okay. I've given you some scripts for that. My referral intake, I'm always going to log it. It's going to go in my CRM so that I don't forget about it. I'm always going to reach out and contact the person, scheduling the next step. I'm always going to send 2 or 3. Usually in my process, there's about 8 or 9 updates that I give, not just 3. Depends on the types of referrals you're receiving or giving. And you can adjust that as you need to. Now, referrals are an income stream for us in real estate. Not so much for Cynthia. She makes money off of referrals, but when we refer people, we earn what I call mailbox money. Okay? If I refer an agent to Miriam in Orlando, when Miriam sells them a house, I typically collect a referral fee. And she's paying me that fee as a thank you for giving her business that she didn't have previously. So you can actually earn a decent amount of income if you work your referrals correctly and you have a system to follow up with them that earns you repeat referrals, right? So who do I create a referral network with? So I'm always going to think about, where do my clients come from? So if I'm big in a relocation, I'm going to analyze, where do people move to my town from? In Western North Carolina, we get a lot of snowbirds, right? We might get people from Florida because it's too hot. We have a lot of Miamians here, right? So maybe I connect with realtors in Miami. I reach out to 200 realtors in Miami. If you've got people relocating to Western North Carolina, I'm your girl, right? I've got Cubans on my team that are uniquely experienced and positioned to help people moving from Miami, right? So I'm going to identify where people are coming to me from. I'm going to identify my specialty, like, are they, who do I want to work with? And when I see someone or I receive a referral that is not who I want, it is out of my niche, it's out of my specialty, I'm going to refer that out to somebody else. Capacity or time constraints. I coach agents all the time who are given the opportunity to list a property about 2 hours away from them. Do you know the market 2 hours away from you? Do you know the ins and outs of the neighborhoods or how they do things in that county? Do you know what the settlement statement should look like based on the taxes and how things are done, who pays title, and are you competent to serve a client 2 hours away? You have to answer that. That's your choice. Okay? Are you licensed there? Well, duh, you can't sell a house where you're not licensed, right? So stop trying to help everybody and work on the people that are for you. And then I should refer someone out if it would be a better experience for the client. Maybe I have too much on my plate. Maybe you are outside of the person I typically work with. Maybe this is a listing that is very rare and unique, and I don't know that it will sell. I don't want to invest my money in it. Maybe that's something I refer out to somebody else. Make sense to everybody? I do want you to have some standard criteria that you want your people to have. If you're sending referrals, I want you to have some criteria for those agents to have so that you can make sure people fit that standard. Okay. So for me, it's not necessarily that they are a $25 million producer, but I'm looking for certain education. I'm looking for certain experience. I'm looking for certain expertise. I want to know that Cynthia, if I refer people to her, that she has programs and that she can morph from my $150,000 client to my $1.8 million client, right? I'm looking for certain criteria that makes me feel comfortable referring people to them. And you should have the same. What is your referral fee expectation? Do you know that I have earned probably 8 referrals last year, all because I was willing to pay 30% instead of 25% on a referral? That may not be for you. That's your choice. But it was the difference of 496 comments. Guess which one they called? Me. Because I offered 30% instead of 25. But guess what? The buyer was a $2.4 million buyer. I'll pay 30% on that all day. You get to choose what your referral fee expectation is, okay? You should be documenting and following up with referrals with referral agreements immediately. You should know where that referral agreement is in your paperwork. You should already have it filled out with your client that you're referring, and all you're filling out is the agent that you're referring it to, okay? I am challenging you guys to share your referral message with 3 people next week. By the end of next week, I want you to share your referral message with 3 people. Your referral message is, let me remind you, who do you help? What problems do they have? What kind of things are they listening for or looking for? What kind of results can people expect when working with you? How do you want people to feel when they work with you? That's all part of your referral message. Okay? Everybody can do that? All right. Then I want you to make a list of your top referral partners. This is where people who have referred to you in the past. This is people that you know are in positions of um, positions of influence. These are people that can refer people to you. I want you to start making a list of people that you're going to invest time in to build a relationship so that people will send referrals your way. Okay? So you could have 10, my list might have 30 on it, right? Especially if one of my referral partners is a realtor in another state, I might have a list of 50 of those in that one state that come to me. But I also might have a list of 25 people that are here locally in town, right? If I'm a probate and trust specialist, I'm going to have a lot of divorce attorneys and probate and trust attorneys on my list because they're the ones who are uniquely positioned to be in front of my target client. They have access to my target client, right? I'll be honest with you, my fencing guy was a huge referral partner for me in like 2023. I think we sold 100 fences together, right? They don't always have to be real estate related. It might just be your mom. Your mom loves you, wants to see you succeed, right? But you've educated these people about how you work and who you work with. Okay. I've also just given you some things to track down. I want you to set some goals for yourself. How many referrals do you want? How many referral conversations you're going to have with people in order to get those referrals? So I might have to have 25 conversations to get one referral. I might have a much better close rate of that because here's the difference. When you are spending time with these people and you're asking them to refer business to you, I want you to feel comfortable saying, you now understand who my target client is and who I help and how I help them. Would you be willing to commit to referring just one person to me in the next 12 months? I am asking them to commit to this. Now, I know some of you are making a face at me that feels salesy, that feels pushy. And in the South, we don't like to feel that. But closed mouths don't get fed. And here's the other part. I am trying to assess how committed this person is to helping me build my business. And when I ask it in that way, can you commit to sending me just one referral in the next 12 months? The answer to that question tells me how much more time I need to invest in this person. If they hem and haw, if they say, I'm not really in a position to refer anyone to you, I don't really know anybody, I don't really get opportunities to refer you, guess what? You're off my list. I'm moving on to somebody else. And here's what I want you to think about the power of this. If you had a list of 30 people that you spent time pouring into, providing referrals to them, building their business, educating them about how you work, and you had 30 people who said, yes, I will commit to sending you one person, how many deals is that? Y'all know the only math I do is X times 3%, but that's 30 deals,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So I want you to think about that. If you just had a list of 20 and you said, can you commit to sending me one person that I can help? Now that you know who I serve and you know how I do it, can you be on the lookout for just one person that fits this criteria and refer them to me sometime over the course of the year? That is 20 people looking for red cars for me.
Right.
That is 20 people who have committed to me. Now I have a reason to follow up with them once a quarter, once a month, once a week, whatever your style is. To say, remember when you committed to sending that one person to me? Let me remind you again of who I'm looking for. Let me remind you again of what things to listen for. Let me remind you again about the success I've had recently with this type of person. What I want you to have is an army of people, whether that's 20, 30, 50, 200, 6, an army of people that are looking for that red car for you. And they are teeing you up. They are educated about what you do and how you do it differently. They're not just saying, hey, call Heather. She's a realtor. She's a great realtor. No, they know what Heather does that's unique, right? They're going to solidify that relationship for you before you ever talk to them. Everybody with me there? We want little armies out
Yeah.
there. All right. My final message to you is you already have everything it takes to build a strong referral driven business. You have clarity that you got today. What do you do? Who do you serve? What are people looking out for that is in line with you? Right? It is practical. It is repeatable. The people who will refer you they're not looking for perfection, but they are looking for excellence. So here's the thing. This does require vulnerability. When you schedule time with people and you say, I want to earn your referrals, you are putting yourself under a magnifying glass, under a spotlight. And people are watching what you do because you're asking them to. That means you got to show up. You have to be the person you're trying to be. You have to show up for your business in the way that earns referrals. You are not given referrals because of who you are, like magically. You're earning referrals because of who you show up as. You're earning referrals because you've given people the confidence to know that their people are safe with you, that they're in good hands. Make sense? Thank you guys so much for guiding me. We didn't get to do the breakout session today. Here's what I want to say. Our future agent masterminds, the typical format is from 1 o'clock to 2:30. From 1 to 2, we typically have the instruction. We're diving deep, we're engaging, we're discussing. We are bouncing ideas off of each other. We are sharing with each other. And from 2 to 2:30, we typically have networking time. But y'all were so in this with me that I just let you go. But what I want you to know is I'm very proud of you for showing up for your business. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you gained at least some clarity about how to be better at asking for referrals, how to teach people to refer business to you. Here's what you don't want. You don't want your referral partners to say, hey, here's Heather's phone number. That's a one-sided referral, right? I have to wait for that person to die. I'm probably going to die or collect Social Security before that person ever calls me, right? What I want is you to connect me together. Send a group text, right? Send an email and tag me in it. I have a one sheet for my business that is it's an introduction to me and my business. It has my contact information, it has my picture, it has the blurb, why someone would want to work with me. It also says what makes me unique, what makes me different. That one sheet that I have goes in the hands of every person that I meet. And it definitely goes in the hands of all my referral partners. My referral partners have it saved on their phone as a JPEG and a PDF. My referral partners, when they see an opportunity on Facebook, so and so's moving to Orlando, the first thing they do is upload my JPEG one sheet, that photo. They're uploading it in the comment. They're not just tagging me, they're not just putting my name and number. They're introducing my business to their people because I've trained them to do that. So now when this person calls me, they're not just calling me blankly. They already know what I specialize in. They know what I'm great at. They know that I have 2 dogs and 2 cats and I live in Western North Carolina, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Y'all stop half-assing this. This
Yeah.
is your business. Okay? You are the CEO of this business. And if you want people to refer people to you, you have to earn it. You have to earn the right to be referred and you have to train them how to do it. And then the best thing I can tell you is don't drop the ball. Set
Right.
reminders, use systems, use your CRM, use Siri, use whatever tools you have to not forget and not let things slip through the cracks. But your people that referred you to their people, their workers, their coworkers, their friends, their family, they want to know that their people are in good hands and that you're taking great care of them. So keep them posted, keep them informed. Okay? Anybody have any questions for me before I let you go today? Let me see. Let me find that while y'all are thinking. If you have any questions, let me
This
grab that.
was recorded, right?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, because I missed a little. I had a call from a
Oh,
client,
don't.
so I could not miss it. Okay, good.
It is recorded. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
Let me give you guys this memory jogger real quick in case you are wanting it. Um, that way you don't have to join anything and you don't have to pay for anything. You just have it here as a resource for you. Okay. I've coached this sheet, this memory jogger. Like I said, I've used it myself 4 times every time I moved states. And for somebody who maybe your sphere of influence isn't in line with the price point that you want to have, guess what? You can create a whole new sphere from scratch in the price point that you want to have. It just takes intentionality. It takes purpose. It takes you reaching out to the people on the list and finding people in each one of those categories that are in line with who your clients are or who you want to work with. Okay.
Yeah.
Did everybody get that?
Yep.
All right. If you thought this was helpful, if you enjoyed it, please come back next month in February. Let me give you the date right now, but you can go to agentmastermind2026.com. Agentmastermind2026.com. They are all there for the entire year. You can book them in advance and put them on your calendar and protect the time. But our next one is going to be February. You think I would know? Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. I should have known that. My bad. Hold on. Like it's not loading on my phone for some reason, but let's see. February 5th, we are doing agent attraction and conversion. So if this is part of your business model, we are going to do a deep dive in mastery of agent attraction. If you're trying to grow your downline, if you're trying to grow your revenue share, that is what we do. Someone asked, how do we access past recordings? Follow me on Facebook. That's the best way you're going to get it is follow me on Facebook because when this is processed today, I will go and post that on my personal page and on Real Success Blueprint. Okay. So you will find the replay links there. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Real Success Blueprint is my website, and then all the social handles that go along with that. And I will always post the recordings the day of the event. So if you miss it for any reason, go to my personal page and you can always find it. Okay?
Laura,
See,
it was your birthday 3 days ago?
yes, I turned 50
Happy
on
birthday.
Monday. Thank you so much. I'm in the best era, I think, of my life right now. The 50s are going to be fantastic, and I
Hmm.
am willing it to be so. I am manifesting that to happen. And thank you so much for acknowledging it. It was a big birthday for me, and I am super, super happy that I, got to celebrate in such a great way. So thank you. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, go out and kill it. Thanks for being here today. Tell your friends, come back February 5th. Okay.
Thanks, Laura.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.